What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this one, I'm going to be continuing to show you how to make Poppy Playtime Chapter 2 in Minecraft. This is part 58, and in this one, we're going to be finishing off this segment of the build, which is this area here, along with getting the little conveyor here. And we won't build the vent down, but we will get this part marked at least. One thing I want to point out before I and the intro here. This hallway at the beginning of the part I have started as 4. It should be 5. We corrected that last part, but I didn't notice it until I started recording this part. Thankfully, I recorded them back to back, so that didn't become a problem. But, yeah, just keep that one in mind, and yeah, that's really all. Cool. Alright, so first thing I want to do before we actually carry on here is head back up to the previous room, because if you guys remember at the beginning of the last part, I mentioned a pipe that I just forgot entirely. So we're going to actually do that pipe now. I'm going to give you the whole ordeal for it. So it's just in this room. You just need red nether brick slabs. If you come over to the hole that we wouldn't have just come from, this one over here, you want to be the third block to the right of the bamboo pipe here, and you're going to place a red nether brick, or 2 red nether brick slabs actually coming off the wall. Extend right one, towards you one, and then you will go all the way right from there. If you have pipes in this line, get rid of at least the top of them. You could get rid of them entirely. I don't have any pipes on this row, actually. I might have clickbaited you a little bit there, but that was up to you if you want them or don't want them. Okay. I'll remove them myself, because I don't think they're necessary. Cool. And then you can head back down to the previous area, and we can start there. Now, this area is copy-paste hell, or something like that. Basically, we're going to make the section, and then I'm going to tell you that you have to copy that section a bunch more times. So, we already have some of it here laid out. We just need to finish off a little bit more. So, the materials we need to start off are as follows. Gray concrete. Light blue concrete. Polished blackstone. Polished blackstone stairs. Red nether brick slabs. Bricks. Cyan terracotta. I just forgot. That's good. It's my favorite material right there. Stone. Oh yeah, that's what it was. And I don't really see anything else that's important, so. Dark oak trapdoor, we can place that. So I want to be clear again. If you're outside of this area, this wall will be the back wall right here for now. At least it'll be the back one, this one. So if you're directly under the vent here and you trace it down, you want to, from this block, count back diagonally right by 1 and place a dark oak trapdoor. Cool. So on both light blue concrete walls, you want to do the following. You want to place red nether brick slabs at the base row, just kind of going across. You'll then 1 block off either side, you want to, on the second light blue up, place a polished blackstone stair facing towards you. The light blue above that stair, I guess in and out and up, you want to replace with a polished blackstone block. Now, it's time to copy this wall pattern. However, you don't want the cyan terracotta, and you want to go left with this an additional 3 light blue times. Now, if I take the top light blue here, I'm going to go over with, let me just make sure that I have the number. Okay, yeah. 6 light blue, gray, 6 light blue, gray, 6 light blue, and then a cyan terracotta. So you basically are going to have 4 of these wall patterns in total, 3 additional going, again, left kind of back towards that area. Now, when you do this, obviously, again, the top is just light blue, and you want the stone floor, and you want the red nether brick slabs, and you want all of that. The one thing is, obviously, the cyan terracotta is a flat row. The gray concrete is in line with the light blue concrete. It doesn't stick out like the cyan terracotta does. So basically, I'll show you what I mean in a second here. Let me just fill in the stone floor first, since that'll be good to have out of the way. When you build this, the gray will not go down like this. It'll go diagonally out like this, and then it'll just be the light blue or whatever. Really, it's just a lot of looking over and then copying that. And yeah. Shouldn't be too hard, because it's really a simple area. And the red nether brick slabs will just go all the way through everything that isn't obviously a block that's there, I guess. As in, just don't go through the cyan terracotta and stop at it. And that would probably be the smart play. And yeah, hopefully everyone's having a good day or night. I am for the most part. I don't think I said that yet. I already forgot it. You know, I haven't recorded back-to-back of this in a while, so. But I'm starting to, like, hit that point where I have that second wind, you know? Consider it a second wind. Freddy Fazbear reference. But I'm just like, you know, get a little bit closer to finishing it. And also that segment, or this segment, I guess. Since that'll be done once we hit the... I think, like, that's gonna be weird, because it'll probably end up being, like, an odd break, rather than normally where I'd put it, like, or where I wanted to put it. It'll probably be, like, after that room for the loop we'll make. Because I'm thinking right now, I don't think this whole area will get finished in this part. So, I mean, unless it does. It's not a huge area, but it still does feel a little bit larger than I would think. Anyway, you should end up with this. Cool. Now, you do want to copy the pattern an additional time on the other side of the cyan terracotta with bricks instead of light blue concrete. So again, you're just going to go diagonally off from the cyan terracotta and place a row of 6 bricks on both sides. You'll then have the cyan terracotta with, or just outside of those bricks, another row. And the only thing here is nothing, actually. It's like literally everything else is the same. It's just a brick wall. You do have the red nether brick slabs as well, and don't forget to bring your floor out a little bit further, because we're just bringing that as we go for now. I think once we... Well... Yeah, probably once we're done with this hallway, we'll kind of ditch the floor for a minute, and then lay out, like, the rest of this area. We might finish this in one part. This very well could be the last part of the segment, which means I can finally focus on finishing Neighbor Case entirely. Probably should have done a part of that today instead, but oh well. You win some, you lose some. Anyway, you should have this. Where each gray concrete and or cyan terracotta is, where we haven't already tampered with the top, you're going to extend them up an additional 1. So they're taller than the walls. You probably can assume where this is going. You'll connect them together with upside down polished black stone stairs facing to the left, which is going to be, you know, the way you're walking in this hallway towards the brick. And does that include the last set? I want to make sure. I did just place it and I'm like pretty sure that it does, but yeah, it does. And then just between them all, you'll fill in the ceiling with cyan terracotta. And that'll give you not a finished hallway, but I mean, it'll be pretty close to a finished hallway. There's a couple minor things we want to touch up first. So yeah, it should look like this. That's really the base of the walls done here. And then we'll finish off this part first before we move on to the next areas. So, on the edge closest to the vent here, where you have, you know, this part, you want to just bring the cyan terracotta... Well, I guess you want to bring it all out in additional rows. So you're bringing the cyan terracotta out a row, and then the polished black stone stairs out with also cyan terracotta, and then the stone will be brought out with stone. So yeah, it should look like this. You can then clear your inventory and get out the following. Cobble deep slate walls. Cobble deep slate blocks. Bamboo fence. Mangrove trap doors. Polished deep slate slabs. Red nether brick slabs again. Warped slabs, levers, and lightning rods. So, this particular wall at the end row we just placed extra for, you're going to want to just fill in with alternating cobble deep set walls and blocks going across. I have a row of walls on either side, just like so, and then, you know, it'd be walls in the center as well. Generally, if you have it as an odd number where you can, or it would be both on the same sides, it will be walls. Off the center row, you'll place a full row of bamboo fence with the fence at eye level having a mangrove trapdoor opened up against it. To the left of the bottom 4, when you're looking at it, you'll place another row of fences. Still looking at it to the left of the top fence of the row of 4, you'll extend out with, I want to say 9 warp slabs. Yes, so you'll go one further than this cyan terracotta pillar here. You'll then go up diagonally forward 3 times, like so. And then you'll go all the way forward again until you are one shy of this cyan terracotta pillar just before the bricks. And then you'll go up diagonally forward by 2. Optionally, you can actually replace this polished black stone stair with a warp plank. I didn't. You also have a red nether brick pipe next to this, so on cue, you can place a row of upside down red nether brick slabs against the ceiling that goes all the way to the end here. It will end up going further. It'll actually go one further if you want to just bring it that one further. And it'll also go back towards the, well, back of the hallway, and it'll stop once you're one further than this long flat or actually in line with the long flat portion of the warp, and you'll go back diagonally left like so into the wall. On the right side, you have upside down polished deep slate slabs that span the whole length of the top here. There's one spot where it splits, but we're not going to worry about that just yet. Just fill it in entirely. And then at the end, if you want to go the distance further on this side, it would be 3. It'll still need to keep, both these will still need to keep going, but just nice to have them the distance. So for the polished deep set, it'll be the last gray here. In line with it, actually, this slab, you'll break the 3 behind. And from this one here, or I guess 3 towards you, whatever, which would be forward, you'll take this one and you'll go down diagonally back twice, like so. There are 2 lights in the ceiling that don't actually exist, kind of. If you take the slab just before all goes haywire on this particular portion, which is before they start going down, you want to count towards you an additional 1 and then left by 2 to this cyan terracotta, where you'll place a lever pointed backwards. Behind it, you'll have 2 lightning rods and then a lever pointed forward. These lightning rods should have the thicker ends kind of up against the parts of the levers that are, you know, flicked inwards, like so. The other one, if you take the red nether brick slab row here that you should actually be against right now, you'll take the, not the very last one on this flat portion, closest to the vent that we came down, but the one before that, where you'll place the lever pointed back, and then again 2 lightning rods, whatever. And it should give you this. This should be familiar. I don't really use this a ton, honestly, beyond this, but, you know, I use them here, so. Anyway. For the texturing in this hallway, you'll never guess what the stone is. I'm not even going to go over that. Cyan terracotta, I don't think I have textured at all. Yeah, I don't. But again, gray concrete powder you could use for the pillars on the sides, but not really for the ceiling. The brick is textured with just granite. The cobble deep slate is textured with deep slate tiles. And the light blue concrete is textured with cyan concrete powder. Anything else? No. There is more texturing, though. If you get out tough and polished tough slabs, along with an assortment of buttons, I went with polished blackstone, birch, pale oak, and dark oak. We can do a little bit more. So basically, on the pipes, or the red nether brick pipes on the floor on either side, leaving this first panel open where you fall down, you kind of have just a bunch of, like, tuff that goes either just off the sides of them like this, or is in place of them with a full block and also brought right with a slab like that, kind of. It's one of those 2 things, and you want to do it a bunch. I would try to not go under the stair with the full block, but it's up to you. And you can also just do, like, 2 slabs extending out, just replacing the pipe. But that one's kind of up to you. I'd say have fun with it, but I mean, it's kind of hard to do when it's just replacing a bunch of stuff. But just, you know, something like this, maybe. I wouldn't think too hard about it. Maybe like that. Seems like that's very uneven, though, so I might actually bring that slab up by 1 there, and then that should even it up. Yeah. And in the center, really between the first cyan terracotta, not the actual, like, ones there, but this first one between these 2 light blue, and then the gray between the last two light blue. You kind of want to have in that area just a bunch of the buttons that I mentioned. Polished blackstone, birch, pale oak, and dark oak. Just in, you know, whatever assortment you want. Something like that. I still don't know what these crumbs are, but they're everywhere. So we'll keep seeing them. Okay, moving on. The next hallway isn't too bad, so that should get ripped out pretty quick. If you clear your inventory, you can get out the following. Cyan terracotta. This is where the gray concrete powder comes in, I see. Cobble deep slate. Cobble deep slate walls. Tough bricks. Andesite walls. Polished basalt. Magenta terracotta, I believe. Yes. So I gotta sort this out. There we go. Light blue concrete. And we'll go with a yellow glazed terracotta. Sure. So, oh, we just forgot about the floor. That's fine. Basically, if you were just like leaving this hallway, you want to head to the right side first and take this cyan terracotta pillar and extend it over with 4 cyan terracotta. So it should be a row of 5 if you're doing your math. You'll then extend that back with 5 alternating cobbled deep slate walls and blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then with a tough brick, like so. Extend the tough brick to the left by 3. Then place 2 andesite walls. 2 tough bricks. And then 5 cyan terracotta. The cyan terracotta on the opposite side of the hallway here, you'll extend to the left by 2, which they should then be in line if you've done everything correctly. And then you'll place a polished basalt upward facing at the end of both. Then from there, you should be able to place, in theory, 8 tough bricks. Just like so. I guess at the end you can also go kind of diagonally in with the cyan terracotta, and then you'll extend left 1. And maybe out 1? Yeah, sure, out 1. Which is back on the back and forward on the front. The cyan terracotta is really the only thing that has nothing going on here. So you'll extend each one up by 5. Along with the polished basalt, actually. Since that's right here. Maybe we'll finish this area, who knows? Be nice to just kind of, you know, get that out of the way. And then for me, I can, again, focus on not this. This will be shorter, by the way, you'll note, than the cyan terracotta we'll have here next to it. Just don't worry about that. That's because of the stairs, and we don't have any more stairs, I don't believe. Yeah, we don't. So you are... So that is fine. The couple deep set you'll also extend up by 5. We'll get to a floor later, I swear. 2 of these tough brick walls have something going on, the other doesn't. The 2 that do is the, I guess, front right and back left, actually, or back right and front left, rather. Take where you have the 2 andesite walls, and you want to extend either andesite wall up by 1, and then extend left an additional 2. So you have a row of 4. The leftmost 3 you will extend up an additional 3 per block. This top row, you'll extend the walls to the right an additional 1. And then of that row, for the right 3, you'll extend up an additional 1 each, and then to the right once. Or something like that. You should have this. This wall, you can just bring the rest of the tough bricks up and around to fill this area in, along with the other wall that should be on this same wall, if that makes sense. The other one, which is that one right there, you're leaving open, but you're gonna fill these in. Just like that. Cool. Almost looks like a crescent moon if it was made really badly. This opposite wall that I mentioned earlier, if you start by going left to right along this bottom row, you're going to place a magenta terracotta. Actually, we're not going to do it that way. You're going to place a magenta terracotta here on the left, though. I'm not lying about that. You'll then extend it up by 1, and then up with a yellow glazed terracotta. I actually do have it facing that way on the original, but it wasn't really particularly methodically placed. You'll extend this magenta right, this top one, right by 1, down diagonally right, right, up diagonally right, up diagonally left, up with a light blue concrete. You'll then extend that light blue right, down diagonally left, and then left. And the remainder of this wall will be filled in with tough bricks. Who would have guessed? This is a Candy Cat art. Candy Cat really, like, shows up late for some reason in this chapter. You don't see any art of him ever, and then you just, like, see all of it here. And I think it's in chapter 3 as well. It's just, like, a lower part of the facility, I guess. So, get rid of your, I guess, yellow glazed terracotta and get out stone. And a block below the walls, you're going to fill in the floor with stone. I'm going to actually go, well, I won't go under all of them, whatever. I'll just go under the actual walls themselves, as in the andesite or cobble deep set walls, since you do need those to be filled under. But yeah. Next room is also fairly not complicated, whatever that means. So we probably will just do it and then build the vent down, and if even we do that, I don't know. A block above the height of the walls, you'll fill in the ceiling with cyan terracotta. Just going to the end of what we have again. And making sure you do go over walls, because those are a little bit annoying. It's the thing, like, with... Especially as I'm building more, I'm starting to use more, like, stairs and slabs and walls and trapdoors and stuff. Making sure you get all the lighting situated with them is always annoying. Especially different blocks, like a composter, which I've used a couple times, and how you need to know whether or not you actually need to light-proof them. Anyway, in this hallway off the polished basalt pillars, you'll place cobbled deep set walls just on the walls. Wow, that was descriptive. Off the polished basalt, like so. You'll then leave a gap of 2 extending right and place another row here. It should be on the last row of cyan terracotta before this hallway kind of branches off. You also want a row up against the cyan terracotta over here, just kind of coming in a row. You'll place them on either side. Boom. I believe that's a good point to clear our inventory. Yeah. And get out the following. Well, first off, actually, texturing. It's all the same. I just want to reference that real quick before we actually start doing stuff. It's the same stuff we've done a million times already. But you want to get out the following regardless of that. Stone brick walls. A singular chiseled bookshelf. Just one lone guy. Red nether brick walls. Red nether brick slabs. Warped trapdoors. I'm going to strategically save that for later. Not the warped, though. Something else. Bamboo fence. Mangrove trapdoors. Pale oak trapdoors. And a singular item frame. So in the corner here where the cobbled deep slate wall is, in the front corner between the cobbled deep slate and the cyan terracotta, you'll place a full row of stone brick walls. The bottom one you'll extend back by 2, and not the one above it, but one more up, you'll extend back by 3. Then down, back, down. Left of this on the back wall, you'll place a row of red nether brick walls. Oh, I should have saved that too. Darn, I should have also saved the warp trapdoors, funnily enough. On this bottom row of 3 stone brick walls we placed originally, off the center one you'll place a chiseled bookshelf extending left. Also up against this front wall, you leave a gap of 1 from this stone brick wall pillar and place another pipe. Not pillar. I keep saying pillar. From the red nether brick slabs in the ceiling here, which that would stick a little bit back, you'll go back diagonally right by 1 and connect all the way right. To the left of this particular red nether brick, just before that diagonal, you'll place a stone brick wall and extend it back by 2. Behind that, you can place a warped trapdoor off the bottom half of it, like so. We'll probably save that for later, but I just want to have that marked. And then what you can do next is off of the cyan terracotta here, just where the tough brick and cyan terracotta meet, you want to place pale oak trapdoors open to the right, again off that cyan terracotta row specifically. On the eye level one, you can crouch and place a mangrove trapdoor open up against it. It's supposed to be a pipe. The reason I have it built that way is because it splits the cyan and tough perfectly. And so, you know, it does not make this work very perfectly, but oh well. You'll leave a gap of one going right of those, and you'll accidentally break everything. I always do this, my god. And you want to place 2 rows of bamboo fence going floor to ceiling. I just keep my controller on my lap usually for this, and so sometimes I'll move a little bit and it'll pull the trigger in and it'll just break everything. The left mangrove, or the left bamboo fence row, you'll place a mangrove trapdoor at eye level. Heading to the left, still looking at the back wall, you want to take at eye level this tough brick wall, and the second one over you'll place an item frame. From it, count left 2 up by 1 and place a pale oak trapdoor opened here. Turn around to the opposite wall, and it wouldn't be quite perfectly in line. It's actually, if you trace in line, it's left by 1, and you'll place 1 there. You can see where it's placed, regardless of if you do it that way or not, though. As we get to the next area, you can clear your inventory and get out pale oak fences, tough and polished tough slabs, polished black stone pressure plates, gray carpet, and dark oak trapdoors. So, on the left wall where you have the candy cat art, if you look at it, off the, really just inside of either cobble deep set wall row, you'll place a row of pale oak fences. Cool. Now, if you look to your right, you want to place, I guess replace the bottom, actually, cobble deep set on either side with a tough block or polished tough block. When I say tough or polished tough, it'll be, or when I say tough, it'll be either of those, I guess. Extend them in with a slab, and then in the direct center, you'll place a gray carpet. That carpet will be brought when you're looking at it back with a slab, which will be brought right with a dark oak trapdoor and left with a gray carpet. That carpet will be brought back with a pressure plate. The front carpet, the original one we placed, will be brought forward with a pressure plate, and then that will be brought right with 2 slabs and left with a slab and then a block. This far left block will be brought forward with a slab, and the far right slab will be brought forward with a dark oak trapdoor. Only rule when texturing with things that are flat, like pressure plates, carpet, and trapdoors. You don't want pressure plates and trapdoors next to each other, because when you walk over it, it'll do that. It doesn't necessarily matter, but especially in a situation like this, where if I were to have this one as a, I'm going to place them this way just to dramatize the effect. If I were to have a trapdoor there and I'm walking over it, it blocks me. And you know, would prefer to not have that. So just keep that in mind in general in building whenever you're texturing. Eventually you hit a point to where you don't even think about it and you just start doing. I mean, you have to think about it a little bit, but you don't think about it as much as you would probably imagine it would take to think. Anyway, we're getting dangerously close to this next room, which literally doesn't matter because it doesn't matter, as I just said anyway. But you can get out the following materials, ignoring my butchered English. Tough bricks, polished tough, andesite walls, stone, cyan terracotta, polished deep slate slabs. Those warp strap doors are back for blood. Levers and lightning rods. Sure, we'll have to mark that doorway, or we'll just do a quick inventory switch, but whatever. If you are at the outside like I am and you look back towards where we just built, you're going to start with the left sign, because that one's easier. And from the cyan terracotta, you'll go just back diagonally left with a tough brick. Extend left by 2, then towards you by 4. Then place a polished tough, 4 tough bricks, polished tough, 3 tough bricks, then a gap of 1 where I'll place a stone in the floor just for fun, and then 2 more tough bricks from there. You'll notice you're just before that wall, which works nicely for us. From there you want to extend to the right by 13. And you should end up connecting or going back and then connecting left just inside of the cyan terracotta. And when you do this, you'll end up kind of there, and you should have 3. It is uneven, that's just how it be sometimes, I guess. Extend each tough brick or polished tough up by 5. We'll break the other doorway that we just neglected. I do realize I kind of sort of did that. Sometimes you just have to do that, I don't know. Yeah, these ceilings are 6 tall. I don't know why. Actually, all of them have been. Never mind. Just this one specifically I figured I'd pick on, I guess. Don't know why. But, you know, that's how it is. As well. It's funny, you'll notice it at a specific part, and then you won't at 7 others, but... oh well. And yeah. This honestly really is starting to feel like the end now. I don't know if anybody else, like, if you're familiar with Chapter 2 and know the rooms, then, like, you'll definitely start to feel it, I think, at this point. Where you have the opening with the stone, you'll end up connecting the top 3 tough bricks together only. We'll still ignore the other side for now. But, fill in your floor with stone a block below the height of the walls. And you should guess the next step, probably. It's actually really hard, and no one would ever guess it in a million years. Not even I would guess it. And I know the step. How does that work? Well, I guess I guess guessing and knowing aren't the same, so that would be how that would work. Sure. Something like that. I don't know. It's all hypotheticals anyway. You should have this. Then a block above the height of the walls, you'll fill in the ceiling with cyan terracotta, and then that'll be this room's layout, at least done for the most part. There's a couple minor things we have to do with the walls, but yeah. Texturing in this room as we're doing this, it's the same as always. The only thing that I should point out is the polished tough is textured with polished deep slate, as that probably would have been figured. It is literally just a line. Stone brick, tough brick, deep slate brick, polished blackstone brick, with any sort of texturing. Anyway, you should end up with this, and I'll give you a sec. More so because I'm thirsty. Anyway. Opposite to the doorway we have, you can actually break these 1 by 3 on the left wall. Or right wall, whichever you're considering that. Oops. So if you were just to have entered into this room, you want to immediately turn to your left. And in the corner here, on the actual left wall, you're going to break like a little 1 by 2 and fill it with andesite walls. Make sure you have stone in the floor under it. Top one, you'll bring back an additional 1 as well. Where that warped trapdoor was earlier. Wow, I just found a mistake. That's crazy. You want to extend that warp trapdoor, I guess, all the way into the cobbled deep side first on the near side. And you will have to crouch and fly as you do this, which is a little bit awkward. It's easier on keyboard than it is on controller. But if you bring it all the way with warp trapdoors kind of into the room that we're working on, you want to stop, what is it, 3 before the back wall, which should be, I think, 2 further than that polished over there. So, like, you see if I place 1, 2, 3, yeah, you see I'm there. Because then you'll end up wanting to go right back and then just all the way right into the wall. Directions I really wouldn't change until, like, here, maybe? I would make that whole row go sideways. It's up to you, though. Just to the left of that a row when you're over here, you're going to place upside down polished deep side slabs that will actually connect into the tough brick back wall there. And when you bring them back towards the hallway we were in, you'll eventually connect into this corner of polished deep side, which is awesome. As we're here, before you head back into the previous room, or if you already did come back again, I guess, where you have the pale oak trapdoor on the, actually both sides, I guess, right? Oh my god, I just did it again! You want to, in line with, place polished deep set, or replace the upside down slabs with blocks, which would be there and there. And then you'll go 1 more out on either side. You'll place your levers pointed in with the lightning rods, like so, and if it ends up opening one of your trapdoors like this, just make sure you close it. That's really the only requirement that I have there. Yeah, I need to, like, I need to give myself visitor permissions at this point, I swear. Anyway, close to the back here, you want to... When you're at the third to last warp trap door of the full row, you're going to make a block and then extend it forward by 3 and do the same thing with the levers. Again, check those trap doors because they will bite you. Not actually, they'll just open. Which I had happen originally as well. That's why I'm pointing it out specifically. Because I just didn't notice it until now. From this point, get rid of any 2 things that aren't your andesite walls or your levers, and get out black stone walls and a block of redstone. The doorway on the right side here, you'll place a black stone wall at the bottom with 2 andesite walls above it. On the back wall, if you're at the third one up, you'll leave 2 open on the right. I guess you're 2 off the right-hand bottom, actually. And you'll replace this tough brick with a block of redstone with a lever off of it. That glows with vibrant visuals. Looks cool, I guess. Not that I have them on, but figured I'd throw that out there. Clear your inventory, and we can start dealing with some more details here. You want to get out the following. The following? Okay, whatever. Bamboo fence. Mangrove fence. Mangrove trap doors. We're going to finish this room, I believe. Item frames. Barriers. And you need barriers for this. Polished blackstone slabs. Nothing else will work, and you can probably figure out why. Mangrove signs. Just all the mangrove, why not? And we'll go bamboo slab. And pale oak sign. So first off, on this doorway on the right side here, on the, I guess, bottom andesite wall, but the center of the 3 in total, you'll place an item frame with a barrier in it. That gives you that little symbol, the funny one. Works nicely. You want to, off of the bottom of this doorway, go left with, what is it, 9 or, I'm bad at counting. It is, oh my, why am I so bad? 10 polished blackstone slabs going left. Apologize, that took so long. You'll then place 2 upside down slabs and then a block at the bottom of the doorway here. Just made it out of slabs. Off of the side of each of the slabs and or upside down slabs, you want to place mangrove signs. Except for on the furthest right one, you'll leave that open on both sides. And that's mainly because there's a... It's just ironic placing, actually. There's a box at the back and there's a pipe at the front, so... You can do the control data thing if you know how to do that control block pick for the data, but I'm not really worrying about it right here. Nice. The doorway at the left, you'll place an upside down bamboo sign at the top of with a pale oak sign just kind of in front of it on the wall. Directing your attention back to the right wall, you'll place a row of, I believe, yeah, 5 bamboo fence just in front of that doorway, which will just connect into the warp trap door. The top you'll extend forward, up, forward, and then all the way down. The third fence up, you'll just connect together between those 2 rows and place a mangrove trapdoor opened up against that center one. Still on this wall, you'll count all the way to this front polished tough row and then count 1 more forward and place 3 mangrove fence extending up, then just go forward into the wall. On the opposite wall, you will leave a gap of 1 behind this pale oak sign and place a row of mangrove fence on the wall. You'll then leave a gap of 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and place a row of bamboo fence, which should be 3 off the front wall if you're counting. Clear your inventory and get out the following. Iron trap door. A lever to open it. Or, yeah, open it. Light blue concrete. Magenta terracotta. White concrete. Yellow glazed terracotta. Red nether brick stairs. Red nether brick walls. And anything else, or is it just like where we gotta kind of end that set? Yeah, I guess that's where we gotta end that set. That's unfortunate. So, on the left wall first from this pale oak sign, you want to count up by 2 and then forward by 1 and place an iron trapdoor here. You want a lever on the other side of the wall that is or that powers on. So basically, if I take the other side here, it should be from this bamboo slab right to and up to, I think. Yep. And when you place the lever and power it on, you should hear the trapdoor. You can just check. On the back wall, this top left corner, you're going to count down diagonally right by 1 and place an upside down red nether brick stair facing towards you, coming off the wall. You extend it up with a stair facing into the wall, and then towards you with another upside down stair facing away from it. Each of those stairs you'll simply extend right with a red nether brick wall. Below the red nether brick walls, you'll place a magenta terracotta here. Extend it up diagonally right one. Right with a yellow glazed terracotta. Down with 2 magenta terracotta. Then a light blue concrete. Right with a magenta. Right with a white. Up with a magenta. Right with a light blue, and then down by 2. This magenta, the lowest one, you'll also bring down with a light blue, and it should give you this. That is everything other than the boxes in this room done. So I'll give you a quick rundown of them, but I won't do them entirely perfect. It's just a bunch of, like, piles of them. So you need composters, brown carpet, barrels, note blocks, strip spruce wood, spruce slabs, spruce trap doors, and spruce pressure plates. And so what you want to do is if you take the mangrove fence here at the left, you want to count from it forward 3 and right by 1 and place 2 composters extending up. Bring them right a row, and then each of those rows forward a row, and then you'll place brown carpet on top. Only thing is back left I have a barrel, not a brown carpet on top, sorry. Around this you'll have like a random kind of assortment, so I'll have a strip spruce here with its slab on top and in front, and then I'll have a trapdoor to the left of it. And yeah, I'll have like a note block back diagonally right, strip spruce on top, pressure plate in front of the note block, which if you want to, okay, well that one doesn't matter, but note block right of that, pressure plate with a pressure plate on top. I think you have to crouch place that. And yeah, generally I think for the note blocks, if you have a pressure plate next to it, you should probably place either a pressure plate or something on top, so it just doesn't make sound. But yeah, that's like that stack of boxes pretty much. I actually have a pressure plate here as well, just to the left of the front. And then back right I'll have a note block here. Left of this bamboo fence I'll have a strip spruce, so you'll have to break a sign for that. Trapdoor in front, slab to the left. And then I'll have like a little stack of boxes in the front left corner of the room, which will be like, it'll be a slab there, behind the cyan. Strip spruce left, and then back. Slab on top of back one, note block on front one. Barrel left of back one, slab left of front one. Pressure plate in front of that, and I actually have a trapdoor to the right of it, but, yeah, about that one. Item frames are also always good for box stacks, especially if you want flat ones. On the front right, you'll have, just like behind the cyan terracotta, 2 composters, which will each be brought right by 1, and then up by 1 each, like so. Again, brown carpet on top, and you'll have some boxes behind. And then I'll have, like, pressure plate there, and then, what is that, plank to the left? Yeah. Just something like that. You don't need it perfect, but, you know, maybe if you want to add some in this corner here, just between the fences, you can. But just something like this, we have a couple of box stacks around the room. Almost like guiding you through to give you a set path. And then I have the same thing with the buttons, like on the floor, as you have seen a couple of times before. Not that one. Polished blackstone, pale oak, birch, and dark oak. It's really not as many. It's like just a couple. And I wouldn't worry about placement with these as much, because technically for these to activate or trigger a trapdoor or something, you would need to legitimately press them. And, you know, you're just not generally planning on doing that. But, yeah. We can do the vent, I guess. It's not particularly what I want to do, but, you know, we might as well get it out of the way since we don't have to worry about it, or so we don't have to worry about it next part, and then we'll leave the drop-off, I think, for the start of the next segment. Get out the following. Polished deep slate stairs, polished basalt, polished deep slate blocks, polished deep slate slabs, polished blackstone blocks, polished blackstone slabs, cobbled deep slate stairs, cobbled deep slate blocks, and I do have barriers. These aren't a requirement, but they have a very good reason, and I'd recommend using them. So, starting from the opening here on the left side, if you just like crouch through, you want to start by placing to the left of the polished blackstone in the floor you already have, or I guess extending out just 2 more polished blackstone. You'll then go up diagonally back with a slab, which is still the same way. Back with a block, up diagonally back with a slab, back with a block. Extend that block back an additional 9. And then you will go right, back, right by 3. You'll then leave a gap of 1 and place a cobbled deep slate stair facing left. And then up to you, but I would go 4 cobbled deep slate blocks. Then I would go back, right, and then back by 3. The way you know everything is correct here is if you look at the kind of outer corner of this, just take that polished blackstone, and if you kind of follow it on a diagonal angle like this one here, you should end up in line with the stone here, I believe, or the cobbled deep slate here, rather, for the side of the wall, yeah. Or the stone under it if you have a stone under it, but I don't, so. Yeah. Or 2 blocks above at least the cobbled deep slate and polished blackstone, you'll place a polished deep slate outline that is the same, I guess, trajectory. Only thing is, once you obviously hit the downward curve, you're going to go a block further, and then you'll start going down. You go down diagonally with an upside down slab, then out with a block, down diagonally with an upside down slab, and then over with a block. And you should connect just above that bamboo slab. Off of the sides here, you want to place, off the tough bricks, a set of polished deep slate stairs on the bottom facing inward, and then above them, upside down polished deep slate stairs. You're doing every other polished basalt upward facing and these stairs. However, where you have an area like here where you have 3 blocks, or not quite a 2 block area, because the stairs wouldn't work, I just use polished deep slate blocks in their place for those rows. It's been a while, I think, since we've seen one of these, but, you know, they're back. And once you hit the curve, you can just carry one side through, and then on the other, just kind of stop for a moment. I have the left side as the, I guess, quote-unquote, primary side. When I say that, basically, it's the side that you don't double up. Because one side, if you just were to take this through like this, you know, this would be polished deep slate there. So I'll show this in a sec. And then when I bring this one through, it would end up not lining up when I hit the... Okay! When I hit the other side. Just like this. You see here, even like on a corner, because when I place stairs here, I would have a gap. I'll just replace them with blocks, and then I'll have polished basalt, then blocks, and then polished basalt. And you see that doesn't line up, so I'll double up the polished basalt here just on the edges of this polished blackstone. And then when I continue from here, these stairs should all line up. And you'll have to do the same thing again for the other corner. And just keep going. Ignore how there's no floor here. Just do stairs for a sec, and then I'll explain what goes on there. But do bring the polished basalt here down another block because of the cobbled deep slate stair. And so again, I'll take the outside, which is going to be this side. And you see if I go polished deep slate, then you see that lines up. And you'll just take it all the way to the end. Because you can't see this, you could really just fill it off with polished deep slate or something, but I would get rid of, not that, preferably. Get rid of, like, your polished blackstone slabs and get out black concrete and just black off the end here. So, where this hole is, we're not going to bring it down just yet, but you're just going to bring the polished deep slate stair down on either side with a cobbled deep slate, just so we kind of have that all level. And then, as an optional thing, you can just place a couple of barriers on top of that cobbled deep slate stair, so you don't accidentally walk over that. Like, you see if I remove them, you can pretty much just walk over it normally, because of that little step down. But, yeah. So at the beginning of next part or segment or whatever, this will be brought down again, or we will bring it down rather, and that number will be important specifically because it'll end up changing how that works. Because of that part being generally flat, it won't matter a ton, but it will definitely make a little bit of a difference, and there's absolutely workarounds if something goes wrong anyway. But once you've done that, ladies and gentlemen, that is part 58 of Poppy Playtime Chapter 2 complete, and that's also that segment done. One more segment, I don't believe my eyes, and then we're officially done this chapter. Feels like it's been forever. I mean, I guess I started recording this 4 months ago, probably? 3 or 4. And yeah, we have, like, probably less than 15 rooms left. I know that's like a big number still, but it won't be 15 parts because some of the rooms are, you know, hallways and stuff. But anyway, thank you all so much, guys, did enjoy this video. I've rambled enough. Have a fantastic rest of your day or night, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.